What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Speak On It. Y'all can see the whole crew together. Dom, Biv, Tim One in the building. We got the jam-packed show for y'all. We're gonna recap the weekend, last week of sports. So without further ado, man, we're gonna jump right into it. How y'all fellas, man?
All is well. All is well.
Say
I'm not that good right now, honestly, man. But
nah,
we gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it.
I got you. Listen,
All
I'm gonna tell
right.
y'all.
All right.
We're
This
gonna get
four
to it.
kid life, man. This four kid life, this newborn life, man, is real. It's a different animal out here, man.
Uh, yo, shout out to you, brother.
Listen, a lot of stuff
Definitely.
happened this weekend, man. A lot of stuff happened last week. Um, so I want to jump right into the Suns, Robert Sarver, Brett Favre talk. Let's kick that off with the shit. Kick that off. Uh, so what's your thoughts, man? Y'all thoughts on let's start with Robert. Let's start with the Robert Sarver. I see a lot of people speaking out about um what happened. A lot of NBA players speaking about what happened, especially the penalty. I think a lot of the sponsors are dropping them now. Um, I think a lot of people are pushing for a lifelong ban. So, what's your thoughts on the penalty? What came down? Um, just just the workplace, and then the lifelong ban.
I mean, if you did it to Donald Sterling, I don't see why not. I mean, it's very in a similar context of what Donald Sterling did. So I don't see what's the holdup.
Took took them like 30 years to get Donald Sterling out. Donald Sterling, he's been doing that since day one.
Yeah, but I mean, it got publicized, and once it got publicized, he got up out of there, and here we are with the same, like 75%, 85% of the same situation. So
Yeah.
what are we talking about here?
For me, one, not surprised. Um, just being real, you know how I feel. But I was shocked of because the NBA is always thought of as the league that is out in front. You know, they take the biggest stand. So when I only seen the 1 year ban, I was a little shocked with it. I was like, oh, I thought the precedent was set. You know what I mean, with Donald Sterling. I thought, you know, once this comes out, it's a wrap for you. So I was like, oh, so I guess they kind of pulling the reins back again, and then LeBron, then Chris Paul, and I was like, oh, okay. So people are like, nah, this isn't gonna go down like this. So then I was like, okay, it's a wrap for him now because once the big players start speaking out, then the companies are like, okay, we got to keep our money people happy. So
Yeah, I agree with you. The with the 1 year ban, I think it was just that's like a slap, a spit in people's face. Yeah, I mean, especially the workers in the building and majority of the league, the majority of that league. Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 80% black. Yeah, I mean, um, so that's like a spit in the slapping people's face. Um, so yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with y'all. It did make me think about one thing as we sit here talking about it, is I know it's not he's not the only one that's doing it or saying it. And then when we see things like in the NFL, where we actually see, we know it's happening in the NFL. Why? And I know we off topic or off subject, but why doesn't these things or why don't these things get brought to the forefront in the NFL? Or when they do get brought to the forefront, it's like, okay, and we know I can think of off the top of my head 2 owners right now. I know
Because
in the past
it's,
2 years have had the same issues.
it's expected of the owners of the NFL versus the NBA. I mean, like Bill said, you think of the NBA being beyond this, and you still have this going on. It's it's kind of a shocker to some because it's the NBA, but it's not a shocker to most because it's like this is what some of the things that we think go on behind closed doors anyway that just comes to the light. So
Yeah, I can see that.
NFL players don't move the needle like NBA players. It's just that simple. Also, if we want to be completely and technically honest, quarterbacks will always be the face of the NFL. And which is one of the reasons they kind of don't want blacks to be quarterbacks in the NFL, because you don't want the faces of the NFL to be black. Just keeping it 100. But those aren't the guys that's going to step up in this situation. The NBA guys, they're all guys that move the needles because those are the guys that dominate the commercials. You know, like LeBron. I just seen a LeBron in an AT&T commercial. You feel me? And the woman literally asked him, Are you coming for my job? You feel me? He's crossed over into entertainment. He moves the needle. So when he says something, people are going to step up. Tom Brady might be that guy for the NFL. Is he going to step up and say something about one of the owners using the N-word? Nah, that's not his place. I wouldn't expect him to. That's not his fight. You know what I mean? But are any guy in the NFL, is he gonna have the same needle movement as LeBron? I don't know one in the NFL. I don't know a big enough star in the NFL that's an African American that's gonna move and make shockwaves in the NFL to make change, because otherwise we would see change, and we're not seeing change in the NFL.
I think I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna move on to the Brett Favre comment. What you said earlier, the NFL players don't make noise like NBA players. That is what sticks out. They don't make noise like NFL players. I mean NBA players. They're the face. Even with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's probably the most notable African American, if you want to call him. He is, African American quarterback, and he's still not the face. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. Let's get to the Brett Favre topic. Brett Favre bet or funneled, I think it was $5 million to something to do with his daughter. I had to pull. I forgot what.
It was a volleyball center. It was a volleyball center.
Yeah. Thoughts on that, man? Brett Favre, when he was the mayor, not when he was the mayor.
You want me to go first? Again, I'm not shocked. Like this is a guy that held probably at the time, and still probably now, might be the most storied franchise in NFL history. He held it hostage. And didn't care. And then went and played for the rival. After playing for him for so many years, he went and played for the rival. How much of a slap in the face is that? And he willingly chose to go there and play. So this isn't his character, man, to be a snake. This is in his character. And people are shocked. I'm like, this is who he is. But because he could throw the football, he was happy all the time on the field, he played through so many injuries, his dirt don't get talked about. And it's just the truth. His dirt don't get talked about. And now people are shocked because they're seeing this side of him. And for those of us who actually paid attention to his career, we're like, nah, this is kind of who he is. I would expect something of him like this because he's a selfish guy. So I'm not shocked at all.
I got one thing to say about it. When I saw it, I said, Brett Favre, politician. Politicians, I mean, like he's transitioned from being an NFL player over to being a politician. And not saying that all politicians do stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of them do stuff like this. So Brett Favre, I just thought it was a politician move.
I understand being selfish, but from the steal from the poor, that's the part to me that's like the welfare. Like that's what you steal from. That's the fun that you funnel it from. That yeah, man. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
Again, I mean, like I said, it is what it is. I mean, it's just like he's a politician now. You know what I mean? And again, I think a lot of them do the exact same things. It's probably just he got caught. So, I mean, we won't spend too much time on it, but I just want to get your thoughts on it. Let's transition to the WNBA. So the Aces won their first WNBA championship. Chelsea Gray won Finals MVP. But the thing that stood out to me the most was Becky. This is Becky's first year. Becky sat under the San Antonio Spurs for I think 8 years. Went on a couple of interviews. They passed her over. She got to the WNBA. First year won the championship. So my question to you guys is: do you think the NBA missed on Becky Hammon?
No. I mean, I think she came. I think she's going to be a great coach. I think she came in a good position to where that team is a very loaded team. So I think she got the right position, and I think that she's going to succeed in the WNBA. I wouldn't be surprised if she does get a shot later on down the line, but I don't think they necessarily missed on her right now. I think that she's right where she needs to be, as she showed with the team and how she led them this year.
For me, when I first thought about this, I was like, man, did they miss? Kind of, yeah. I feel like because regardless of how the season had played out, it was an opportunity and it was a moment. And not saying that, it's bigger than the moment that she's having now, but I just feel like because of what she was able to accomplish, winning Coach of the Year this year as well, and winning the finals, I feel like she solidified exactly where she should be considered to be, which is amongst the best up-and-coming coaches in basketball, regardless of where league in basketball. So I feel like yes, I feel like the NBA missed out on a moment and an opportunity to take advantage of a moment because she can coach, and she just proved it. So,
I'm with Biv. She came from the tree. You know what I mean? The preeminent tree in basketball, and she came from it. And she was a woman. You know what I mean? Underneath that tree. If anybody that was going to pave the way for women to usher in an era where they can coach in the highest league, I mean NBA professional basketball league in the world, she was it. And like Biv said, you had that moment. Like, even if she would have stayed with the Spurs, she could have been the next, right? You had a moment where you could have transitioned from being just a male dominant coach league to now where we can say, okay, girls can look at the NBA and say, okay, I could coach in there. Because now I'm looking at like, if not Becky, then who? She and you can't say she ain't did her time. She sat underneath. She sat underneath of the coach. She bit her time. So for me, I feel like the NBA did miss on her because it was a statement. It was a moment where you could have said, okay, we're ushering in not just the next great young coach, but a young female coach. I don't see where the next female candidate, resides. I don't see it. Maybe Teresa Witherspoon, but I don't see it.
I don't think that she's not going to not get a shot. I'm just saying the time right now is what it is. I think that she'll probably appreciate the time, even maybe not going straight from Popovich's wing to the league. But I mean, she's a very good coach in basketball.
I think she's good. I think she's a very good coach. But
Timing
what
is
would be
everything. Yeah.
what would be her incentive to leave the Aces to go to a rebuilding or a rebuilding up and coming team? Why would I leave the Aces? I just won the championship. Why would I leave the Aces?
Because of the chance to be a pioneer. I mean, if it happens, it happens. It's just that right now, I mean, I think that the route that she's taken and the route that was given to her, she's able to prove once again why she is. I just don't think that they necessarily missed out on this specific time with her. I think that with her establishing maybe her own, you know what I mean, dynasty instead of coming up from Popovich for the Spurs, who knows? But I mean, at the end of the day, she just won a championship and she was coach of the year. And if she does it on a consistent basis, I don't see why the NBA, no matter who it is going to give her a call. I don't see her not turning it down.
But Tamon,
What's up?
if a man played point guard at a high level in the NBA and then went and coached with Greg Popovich for 8 years, he wouldn't have to go and prove himself in the WNBA or the college. His ass is sitting on a sideline in the first chair. In the first chair. So she paid her dues both on the floor and on the sideline. The moment was now. The moment to me is past itself because she now has a resume in the WNBA. So to me, it's not even going to feel the same because the road was like every other male coach, go from the sideline under a tree, and when the opportunity presents itself, you go and you go sit in the first chair, just like all the other coaches under Pop. But for her, it seems like everybody's okay with her going to the WNBA first and trying to prove herself. Like, no, the time was when it was supposed to be, which was when she had proven herself on the sideline, and when the opportunity presented herself and she was ready for herself. She said it herself. She was ready. She was taking the interview. She said she was ready. But everybody else feels like, nah, the time isn't right now. Like, but if she was a man that played at a high level, point guard at a high level, and then sat on the sideline under Pop, they're hired regardless. They're hired immediately as they say, I want a head coaching job.
I got a couple examples for you, Tamon.
No, you're absolutely correct. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
I get that. I mean, it is what it is. But I still think she was like they missed because again, Steve Nash just got a job, right? He ain't even sit underneath nobody. He ain't sat underneath nobody. To Biv's point, a point guard who played at a high level didn't even sit underneath anybody. He didn't sit under nobody and got a coaching position. Will Hardy came from the Celtics. That's true. I think couple years. And he the head coach of the Jazz. But a female who has a resume on and off the court sat underneath probably the greatest coach of all time. I gotta go to the WNBA because I'm a female. They missed. They missed on that one, in my opinion, man.
Well, the NBA missed and the Aces won. So
yeah, I agree with that. Like she said, they asked her. She said, "I'm used to being overlooked." Well, you ain't overlooked on this show, Becky. Keep doing what you're doing.
Maybe it's a win-win. It'll help the WNBA.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, speaking of the NBA, right? With the NBA coming up on almost a month out, mini camps start or training camps start end of this month. Got me thinking, who are some of the top 5 candidates for the MVP in 2023?
I got 6, 5 impossible.
Okay, well you listen, you know how I do, man. Listen, you know.
Yeah, I know you be
that's right up down. That's right up down Holly. He probably got a 3A and a 3B himself.
I got this is in no particular order. Ja Morant, Embiid, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, he needs to prove himself. Not necessarily, but he's been on the bad end here lately. Steph, that'll be another notch on the belt. Luca, is we all know is special, and I think that he's due for one in his era. And of course, Giannis. Um, what can you say? He's always in the running.
I don't
So
think it's I don't think it's a bad list, but I think Giannis Giannis is going to start getting the LeBron treatment. He's going to get the LeBron treatment where him and Jokic, they're going to get the LeBron treatment where they're going to get voters fatigue. So, but I think it's a great list. I just don't think Giannis or Jokic would be in consideration. And I know you ain't have Jokic on your list, but I don't think they're going to be in consideration.
I think they said we got to do something different with this. He can't win it 3 in a row.
So I go with mine. Steph. I think Steph is going to get a lot of recognition based off of what he did last year. Y'all probably like, man, that's a biased opinion, but just based on what we did last year, I think he proved to the world that he can be that dude, and I think a lot of people are going to, start treating him that way. I think Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving. Who that's 4, right? And Karl Anthony Towns. That was a dark horse.
That's a dark horse for real. No, knock the cat, but that's a dark horse for real.
But if you look at Cat numbers, right? Over the past couple of seasons, even last year, it was like 25, 26, 10. Yeah, 5 assists. He shot like 11 3-pointers, shot 40% from the field. It's just the winning didn't go along with it.
Did you had Embiid, right? You had Embiid, right?
Yeah, Embiid gonna win the MVP. Embiid. So how the voting going works? We know how voting works. You gotta pay your dues, and then you become the guy. James Harden did it. Jokic, like, you gotta pay your dues, and I think Embiid's gonna actually win it. But I think Karl Anthony Towns, we can agree that he is possibly a top 3 or 4 center in the league. He has that type of skill set. He just gotta do it on a consistent basis, and the winning gotta go along with it. Listen, I could have had 10 people on this list. You know what I mean? I just wanted to be different.
Not a center no more.
Yeah, it's true. He a power forward now.
Where you rank on that list?
But I'm good. I'm like, that's my 5. Joel, Cat, Kyrie. I think Kyrie gonna have a lot to prove. I think if Kyrie stays healthy and Brooklyn is a top 2, top 3 seed, I think Kyrie gonna have a lot to prove this year. And he on the contract year. It's never been like the basketball skill of Kyrie. It's always just been a head case.
I won't disagree with that. My 5. I agree with Joel just because, like you said, you gotta pay your dues. Which is why I'm gonna continue to put Luka in there because he's gonna continue to pay his dues. He gonna continue to pay his dues. I think Jason Tatum has hit that part of his career where he's gonna start paying his dues. And then I'm gonna go with 2 guys who, one, I expect a big comeback year from him. That's Kawhi. And then as a guy, just because I'm expecting big things from that team, and that's Trae Young.
Hey, listen, I want to say this real quick. I'm sorry, Luka. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to put you in there. So I'm listen. That's my one. That's my. I'm sorry, Luka. And listen, he probably got a better shot at winning it than Joel. But yeah, sorry, Luka. I forgot to put Luka in
Definitely
there.
got a better shot than Cat.
I knew you couldn't resist at some point, bro. As soon as he said it, as soon as he said Karl Anthony Towns, I look right at you like, I know Timon is burning up. I know he burning
Yo,
up.
it's nothing against Cat, man. He's a great player. I just MVP and him. I don't not
Listen, if
not
they
with that-
win, if they have the season that everybody's expecting them to have, which we're about to jump into the top 5 starting lineups in the NBA. If they that lineup, just that lineup. So let's just jump into it right now. The top 5 starting lineups in the NBA. Why Karl Anthony Towns is on my list, right? Just look at that. Look at that. Look at Minnesota's starting lineup.
I have too, man. I'm not impressed.
Rudy Gobert.
I'm not threatened. There's nothing threatening on that team at all, bro. Like, I'm like,
listen,
man.
They won 40. What they won 46 games last year.
Man, we've seen that. We've seen it. We've seen them do this before.
I know. It's a regular season though. They're gonna win 50. They're gonna win 50 plus games in the regular season. Now, what happens to them in the playoffs? Different story, but that ain't the question today. Is who the lineups? They got a starting 5 of Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and Ant-Man. And I don't give a goddamn who the 5th starter is. Just those 4 alone, those are big names. So people are expecting them to do big things. And if he is the offensive weapon that we think he's going to be, he is going to get MVP consideration.
I am
Not
not
just
amongst
money.
those people.
Huh?
I am not amongst those people.
I know you don't like
not-
money, so.
I'm not. I don't. D'Angelo Russell don't do it for me no more. I feel like he one of those guys that excels on bad teams. I don't think he's up for winning. I don't think he can consistently bring it every night. I feel that same way about Cat. Honestly, he disappeared way too many times in the playoffs. So they're gonna have to prove it to me before I buy into all of them. And then I've said it. Rudy Gobert's in the wrong era. He's an 80s, 90s guy, man. This era, man, he's a liability as much as he is anything else on the floor.
So you ain't see my man out there shooting threes in the tournament?
Bro. They're not gonna let him do that in the NBA. He can do that on France. He the man. He can do that on France. He the man. He the man. Not doing that. Not doing that. I can see Ant-Man like, yo, we gotta get this nigga out of here.
Yo, what are you doing, bro?
No, please continue with your top 5. All right. So Minnesota is one of them.
Oh, Minnesota. Of course, the Sixers. When you look at Boston, so you got to do Boston. The Clippers. The Clippers team is loaded. If you want to go to that starting 5, and I was torn between the Cavs and the Pelicans. So I'm gonna go with the Cavs. The Warriors. I think the Warriors starting 5 is more based on continuity, as opposed to when we're looking at just who they have. Like I like Kevon Looney. I like Looney, but when I look at the other starting 5s, the Cavs team, they got Jared Allen, they got Donovan Mitchell, they got what's the boy name? Like Darius Garland. They're gonna have forget his name. Boy came from the Indiana.
See, you can't even remember their names. You feel me? I'm just saying.
I can't think of his
name.
Are
you talking about Caris LeVert?
Caris LeVert.
Yeah, that's my point. You can't even remember these dudes' name, bro. Like, yeah, man, they sound good, man. They sound good.
I'm just
But
saying.
the
Listen,
Warriors,
we in the
you
we in the
know the
off season.
Warriors' name, bro, because
We know,
they've
listen,
proven who they
listen. You
are,
know the
man.
Warriors, my squad. So
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I ain't
I'm
want.
like, man, I
I
can't.
ain't want to be like, all right, the Warriors. Then y'all be like, oh, bias alert.
Nah, bro. They have proven who they are. You just named teams that still, you know, what I mean, we don't know what to expect from them. So I would respect the Warriors enough to have them in my top 5 starting fives. They just won a championship with a hobbled 70% Clay.
I can say that team wasn't even healthy.
Like, yeah, like I would definitely have them in my top 5. I'm definitely gonna have the Clippers in my top 5. I'm definitely gonna have the Sixers in my top 5. I told you. Now I'm gonna throw a sprinkle of team in here because again, just like you, just names on paper. I love Atlanta's 5.
Yeah,
I love Atlanta's 5. I really do. And I'm gonna sprinkle another one, and I know it's all on really just health. But I still love Denver's 5, man. I still love Denver's 5. So,
Denver healthy.
I
forgot about them too. It's a lot of teams that's like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the Pelicans too. Like, man, on paper, that 5 is vicious. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta have the Warriors in there. They're proven. They're proven. So
listen, you got no beef with me, man. You got both my teams in there, so I ain't got no beef with me.
So, in no particular order, I got.
you don't have to keep saying that, bro.
I'm just saying, just so we can.
You keep saying it like you don't want no smoke. Like,
yeah, just for clarification, because I don't want to. But wait, what? The Grizzlies, the Sixers, the Suns, the Warriors, the Hawks, and the Nets. I know that's 6.
I do gotta wait. What? I got 2 wait what's on it.
What?
You picked the Grizzlies?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the Grizzlies' second star is. I know they got a good team.
They got
5?
Vucevic. What's
they
the
got Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain is there.
Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, John, and I forgot the third. Yeah, no, I forgot names. But when I looked at it today, I said I like that roster.
I got you. Listen,
the Sixers.
I agree with you. I like the roster too. I like the roster too.
I like that roster. I like that total team.
And the Hawks, like Biv said, when looking at that team, I was like, okay,
Yeah, the Hawks. I think the NBA is going to be loaded. I also think when you come in, there is going to be a favorite, but I think it's going to be a lot of parity in the NBA. Just based off we got 3 different lists, and we all probably got 2 or 3 teams that's in our starting fives. Like, dang, I like that team. So I think the NBA is in a good shape. I think it's gonna be a lot of parity in the NBA. Let's jump into
like one of the things one team none of us said was the team that did win the championship just 2 years ago, and that was the Bucks. Like they did not have Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton, yeah.
Well, he wasn't seen the last time they was on the floor. So you know what I'm saying, but solid squad, solid lineup.
Man. And yo,
solid starting 5.
It might have been the Tar Heel love in me, but seeing Grayson Allen's name is starting, I scanned right over the Bucks, yo.
Hey, listen, Grayson Allen played good D.
He did. No, not. You know what I mean? But you know how he be tripping.
I got you.
So,
literally.
So
listen, we can go if you want to keep going. We can go to Chicago starting 5. Like, it's just gonna be
decent ones, but
Dave, I know it's your squad, but y'all starting 5 legit when you put them on paper.
Who's
the Bulls?
Oh, yeah. But you said top 5. You said top.
I know. Biff just threw the box out there, so I was just saying that the Bulls good too. All right, let's move on to this Roger Federer conversation. Roger Federer announced, that he's gonna retire soon. Got me thinking. I know Serena, in my opinion, is the GOAT, but is Roger Federer the GOAT of men?
Nope, it's Arthur Ashe. Andre Agassi? Nah, Federer is definitely up there, man. I mean, John Connors, he's one of, I'll say.
And that's what I was gonna say. I think he's one of. I think with Serena, you can definitely say that that's a definite.
Why are you looking like that, yo? please, please express yourself. Explain the facial expression, my brother.
I think Lil Wayne said it best, man. Roger Federer. There's no competitor, bro. He's the GOAT, bro. Like, he dominated his era. Like, people forget that, Nadal and the Djokovic, they were there while Roger was running the air. And then as he got older, they ascended. But then he came right back and was like, nah, I'm not going nowhere again. So I don't think there's been a more dominant male tennis player than Roger Federer.
Shout out to my man Roger. Just let you know, speak on the show you love. So, if you ever want to come on the show, after your retirement, we open to it. All right, listen. Triple G, the trilogy happened on Saturday. Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez. Of course, Canelo won the fight. I don't think it was any controversy in this one. But what you think? What's your thoughts?
So the question that I see scrolling on says, does this win put Canelo back in the best in the world convo? Yeah, he's in the conversation.
He's just not the best in the world. He's just in the conversation now. Has he ever left the conversation in your opinion, Tamar?
I guess as pound for pound king, yes. But in the conversation, no. Like in this era, like he's still top draw and to an extent. I mean, besides Tank, but what he beat up an old Triple G.
Exactly, bro. Which makes him no longer relevant in this best in the world conversation because he is no longer putting himself in a position that seems to me to want to fight and prove that he is the best in the world. So until he starts fighting and proving that he's the best in the world again, then no, he shouldn't be in the conversation. He could be the big draw all he wants. What was it? The Chavez Jr. kid was a huge draw, even though he was losing. So
wow.
The draw to me don't matter to me when they're talking about the best in the world. The best in the world fight the best in the world. I don't even care if you're losing. But if you're continuing to compete at that level, then I will continue to call you one of the best in the world. Because even Bernard Hopkins at the end of his career, he was a world champion. He might have was losing every now and again, but I was still considering him one of the best in the world because he was still competing at that level. Canelo, the last real fight he had, he lost. Let's just keep it a beam. Since before then, when was the last real fight, real competition that he had? He lost again against Floyd.
He fought clear people, but this
man, he ducking a lot of dudes, man. Step up and fight somebody real and see where the chips may fall. And then I don't know if he's going to be willing to do it because he's also aging at this point.
He's doing a little Kim. He's doing a little Kim. You know what I mean?
Listen.
Little Kim, bro.
Y'all know how I feel about Canelo. He's not in the convo.
Oh, wow.
Because listen, we said this when the fight started. I mean, when we knew the fight, when they booked the fight, it's like, what is he doing? Yeah. Why are you going back to fight Triple G?
He said it's personal.
What? For what? Personal. My man 40.
That man Check said it was personal. That's what it was.
Like, why did you go? Like, I told y'all he needed to fight Bivol again, or I don't want to see another fight. Again, I'm big on listen, whoever beat me up, nah, dog. If I'm the best in the world, whoever beat me up, you gotta see me again. You gotta see me again. So for him to go and fight Triple G, who he already beat, it
was
didn't prove nothing to me.
It was
He
personal.
beat him already.
He said it was personal.
Oh, well, okay. Well, personally, bro, you're not the best in the world no more. Like, you're not in that conversation. Like Bib said, like, don't duck no smoke. Go fight. Go beat the person who beat you up. I know. Yeah, I mean, you went up to his class. Talk about, like you said, have a catch weight, or have him come down to your class. But other than that, I don't want to see no other fight other than unless it's somebody that's relevant.
How you dictate terms if you lost?
I got you. I'm dictating terms because I'm the draw.
But you lost.
True.
Like, you can be the draw, but bro, in this fight, I'm the A side now. Like, why? What does it prove that? Yeah, we're not gonna get in this argument.
I got you. Cool. I got you. Well, listen then. All right. Well, listen. I gotta come see you, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, to stick on to the question, he's not the one the best in the world because he didn't prove anything to me by beating Triple G. You just didn't. Go fight somebody else.
We'll see who we fight next.
But yeah, we definitely gonna see that. All right, y'all. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this of our
I told
show.
you you're gonna fight Jake Paul.
Oh my god. That's a big draw too. All right, listen. College football. I hit y'all up like, man, listen. I don't think it's gonna be a lot to talk about. Then things start happening. A couple upsets, standouts. What stood out, man? What episodes we talking about? What stood out to you?
I picked out 4 things. Kansas is decent, if that's any to anybody. Washington needs Michigan State to win all out for playoff possibility.
That ain't happening.
USC is above average, and it's Texas A&M offense and not the defense.
So you said, what was the first thing you said? Kansas?
Kansas is decent.
Okay. I can see that. I agree with you that it's Texas A&M's offense, not the defense.
I wasn't expecting that.
I agree that I don't know if USC is above average. I think USC is a good team.
That's above average.
And Michigan State,
they are who we thought they were.
they not even
Michigan State. They're Michigan State.
This what I'm gonna say. This is one of the things that stood out to me. One of the things, and we've been saying it. The ranking system is a joke.
Pay no mind, man. I told you I don't pay no mind until they get cold, bro.
Bruh, Oregon lost one time to the national champions. Got knocked all the way out of the rankings. Then they just came back and beat 2 teams, and now they 14th. Florida State, undefeated. They can't even get a bid. They can't even get a ranking.
I mean, Kansas is undefeated too, but right?
Yeah, but who Kansas? I think Kansas. Who they just beat? Houston.
Yeah,
and they've beaten nobody so far.
But Kansas beat LSU.
Hold on.
LSU and
they weren't expecting to win either one of those last 2 games though. That's why I said they're decent. They weren't like Houston. Houston was one of those dark horse teams that was supposed to be shocking people.
They started out ranked.
And West Virginia, we know, is a middle of the pack Big 12 team. So, and Kansas is always on the lower end of the stick. So for them to be 3-0 right now is shocking to me.
I know. I listen. I agree with you on the Kansas.
I get that.
I just want to know what Florida State has to do to get ranked.
And they're gonna have to beat some teams that's good.
But we got teams LSU is 2-1, but we got teams that's not beating good teams that's getting ranked though.
Like who?
Pull this joint up real quick.
Who was unranked and beat nobody and got ranked? Nobody.
Well, Texas ain't beat Bama. They lost and they was ranked 21st next week.
Hey,
but I get it.
That was a win. That was a win to the voters. That was a win to the voters.
Who Miami beat?
But they was ranked in the preseason, right?
Yeah, they was ranked in the preseason. Then they just got mollywop.
I joke. That's why it's a joke.
That's why I said the
only way you're gonna get ranked right now is if you beat another ranked team, then you can jump in the top 25.
Like they got App State. They got them ranked 28th.
That's because
they lost to North Carolina.
And that's because they overrated North Carolina early.
They got App State ahead of North Carolina based off of that Hail Mary. So that's a joke. The other thing, they got Washington in number 18th right now. Florida, Anthony Richardson. I don't know. I had him as the best quarterback in this class. He might need to come back another year.
You also had him as a dark Heisman horse.
I had him. There ain't no dark. I had him winning it. I had him winning the Heisman.
I didn't try to say that. I was trying to save you, bro.
Real. I had him winning the Heisman. Nah, bro.
Bro, but that was after one game.
Huh?
That was after one game, though.
But no, I actually had him based off last year.
Oh, you okay?
I picked him to be. I still think his intangibles. Is projected to be the best quarterback in this class. Just based off his intangibles. And another thing I wrote down is Spencer Rattler. What? Remember Spencer Rattler? Yo, he was projected to be the number one overall pick coming out after his freshman year. Now
Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what the heck happened to him. So those are my things. Those are my points. Spencer Rattler, what happened to him? The what's name is a joke. Anthony Richardson, I think he could benefit from another year. And Quinn Ewers is the guy in Texas. I think if he is there, they beat Bama. If he's there last week, they win convincingly and they move up. So Quinn Ewers is it's going to be interesting when Arch get on campus. But I think it's Quinn Ewers' job.
My biggest takeaway from the weekend is I still don't know who the best team in the country is. I don't. I haven't seen anybody play anybody of relevance yet to make them stand out. I know you're looking like that. Like, yeah, Georgia dominated Oregon, but really, how good is Oregon?
they ranked number 15.
Hey,
you just said the rankings was a joke. You just said it.
I thought BYU was good, and they got blew out by Oregon, and Oregon got blew out by Georgia. So, like, what is the? Yeah.
The team that looks the best, though,
is Georgia.
That's another thing I put down. Is Stetson like? Could he legit win it? Could he legit win the Heisman?
Possibly. But that was my biggest takeaway. Because as dominant as Michigan has been, we ain't playing nobody. This is who is this is. If we're not doing this, I'm mad. So
Yeah.
I'm content. I'm content. I'm like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we're
I
supposed to do.
also,
So
I
let's get
also
the conference
know-
play and see what happens.
So
Exactly.
this is why the rankings is our joke, right? Because Michigan dominate people, yes, but they ain't playing nobody. Sometimes when you dominate and you ain't playing nobody, other teams have looked better than two of the teams I'm about to mention. Teams have looked better than Michigan. Other teams have looked better than Michigan and Clemson, but because they are blue bloods, I would say those are people that you going. Those are teams that you gonna just put in your top 5 just off their names. They don't get touched in the rankings.
Are you talking about Penn State?
No, I'm not even talking about Penn State.
Okay.
I'm not talking about us. But
Who are you talking about then?
Yeah, I'm
Tennessee
curious.
looked good.
Tennessee.
Who they play?
They struggled against West
Michigan
Virginia.
played.
They struggled against what I ain't gonna say struggle, but they had a close game against West Virginia.
Clemson had close games, 2 of them.
Wait a minute now. West
I
Virginia
already
just
told
lost
you. I
to
already
Kansas.
told you how I feel about the entire ACC. I already told you how I feel about the entire ACC. NC State might be the best team in the ACC. That might be my other takeaway.
And Bama don't get touched. I'm not impressed with Bama at all.
Nope. Like I said, man, I don't know. Georgia looks like the best team in the country. They look like they haven't missed a beat. But Michigan still has to prove something. So to me, I can't sit here and say they look like the clear-cut best team in the country. They've dominated the team they're supposed to dominate. But other than Georgia, I'm not really sure how good a lot of these teams are.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's jump to football. All right, so I want to let's roll out this power ranking real fast. Get that out the way. From 4 week, I got a disclosure. 4 week 1 power rankings. I had the Bills as the number 1. The Bills is number 1 team. Any disagreements? All right, Chiefs 2. No, all right. Bucks
They
3.
won.
Huh?
I said they won, so I can't argue with that.
Bucks 3. Chargers
Same
4.
thing.
Chargers 4. I got the Vikings 5. Even though we're not really high on the Packers, they still beat the Packers. They are the Packers. They beat the Packers. So I just did it by the teams that people expect to be good. The Vikings beat the Packers. I know me and you bid pick the Vikings to beat the Packers. Sorry, come on. But the bid, listen, they beat them. I got the Dolphins as the number 16. They beat the Patriots. You know what I mean? Ravens 3, Ravens 7, Eagles 8, Saints 9, Bengals 10. Bengals lost on a miraculous game from J.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick, and Joe Burrow had a all-time terrible game. I ain't talking about including week 2. I'm just talking about going back off week 1. So that's why I got the Bengals at 10, based off of what I seen in week 1. We good with the list?
I can't have the Bengals in the top 10 out of that performance.
Which one?
The first one.
Okay.
I wouldn't have them in the top 10. That's the only I wouldn't. They were bad, man.
I couldn't think of nobody to put ahead of them.
They had to be somebody else. Everybody played. That's
the Commanders.
You got teams that didn't win. That won.
I got one team that didn't win. That's the Bengals. But we can go to the Commanders.
After week 1, they wasn't that impressive. But I put them ahead of the Bengals. The Browns.
They won week 1.
Yeah, it was week 1. Like,
The Giants.
heck yeah, man. I'll take the Giants over the Bengals. They were more impressive. They were more impressive.
Okay, I can say that they had an impressive comeback win. Okay, Giants, Tim.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take the Giants.
All right, cool. All right, so let's do this football. So let's go AFC East. Thoughts, standouts.
AFC East.
AFC East, we talk about the Bills.
The two track stars yesterday, man.
Oh, okay. The Patriots still.
Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill took over, man, yesterday, man. Like I said, I told y'all in the chat, literally, it's 35-14. I was like, all right, I go ahead and start dinner. We got this in the bag. And then I look at my phone with a notification. 42-38. What the? Hold on. Where did what? I would have never thought. I would have never. It was looking that way until Lamar took off for the big run, and I was like, he snatched the momentum back. The defense buckled down. We good, but we weren't, man. We weren't. And it looked a lot like it was the rookie safety missing an assignments. So
I'm gonna get to the Ravens with my takeaway with the North, but for the East, it's like you said, the track stars, they fast. Put some respect on Tua name. I'm gonna say that because when he threw them 2 picks, I said, "Oh, he looked good week 1, but bro, now you playing big boys. Now you playing the big boys, Tua." But I mean, he did his thing. He looked like Alabama Tua. He looked like Bama Tua. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna show the Jets. I'm gonna show the Jets love. I'm gonna show the Jets and Joe Flacco love. Like, bro, they scored two touchdowns in 1 minute and 33 seconds.
I said it, man. They're gonna be a tough out all year, man. Tough out.
Joe Flacco like 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like he like second in the NFL in passing yards.
Shout out to you.
What's boy name again? Zach Wilson. He better hurry up and get back. He better hurry back.
Joey Flacco.
If they keep winning, sorry, Zach.
What about the Patriots?
The Patriots look doo-doo.
What about them? They beat the Steelers.
Yeah,
that's gonna. And the Steelers are still the Steelers, but their Steelers are still bad.
Yeah, I said the Patriots still look suspect on offense, and will rely on their defense to win games. The Dolphins, that was a big win for them, a big confidence booster, especially winning in Baltimore. So I think that'll propel them going forward. The Jets, Garrett Wilson made Flacco look incredible yesterday. So shout out to Garrett Wilson.
So Flacco couldn't make him look great though. Like
I can say, just Garrett Wilson made him look good.
God, dog, yeah, man. Joe Flacco couldn't make him look great though.
Joe Flacco will get no love on here, man.
Man.
Like,
no, he's still sour about that Super Bowl. That's all that is. He's still sour.
No. I mean, I still am. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Let's get to the NFC East, right? Cowboys. Big win. Didn't expect it. Didn't see it coming. My takeaway: Michael Parsons is that dude. Michael Parsons, that dude. The Giants find ways to win. Maybe Brian Dable is that guy. I mean, find the ways to win. I also think that what's name's not their guy. What's the quarterback name again? He's looking for Daniel Jones. Brian Dable looking for his guy. Commanders, Carson Wentz, bruh. That's all I'm gonna say. Carson Wentz. And My boy's playing tonight, so
Yeah, I was like, man, is this man looking at my stuff when he said the Giants just do it? I said that nothing impressive but finding ways to win the game. They look like the Eli Manning type Giants. Except they don't have that defensive line. The Cowboys shocked me. And Michael Parsons is a beast. He is a game wrecker. Um, and the Commanders look to be at the bottom of the division, especially how the Giants have been playing. So that's
The
my
Commanders look
takeaway.
to be at the bottom of the division.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the anomaly of the Cowboys yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Giants are just opportunistic, man. They create turnovers. They just feisty. They're not gonna quit. The Cowboys, I'll cover them when we cover the AFC North because to me it was more about the Bengals than it was about the Cowboys. But I do think if this continues, there could be a quarterback controversy in Dallas. But Jerry Jones spoke it on himself. So the Eagles play tonight. And then the Commanders, just as the Giants find ways to win, the Commanders find ways to lose. I mean, it wasn't like they didn't try to give it away last week. The other just the other guy who didn't want it as much either. So
listen, I agree with you on that. AFC North or NFC North, whichever one y'all want to go do first. I got takeaways in both of them.
Oh, the NFC North. Let's do the NFC North. Let's stay in the NFC.
NFC North. Packers not really impressive. I'm not impressed, even though they won last night. Not impressed. Chicago Bears, forget his name, Justin Fields. He shows flashes. He need help. Detroit is feisty. And when they get Jameson Williams back healthy, and if I don't know if Jared Goff is or isn't their guy, they can have a legit three-headed monster. DeAndre Swift is solid, offensive line solid. Detroit, if it wasn't Detroit, they could potentially in a couple years be the best team in the division, but it's Detroit, so. But I like what Detroit building. Detroit feisty. The Vikings play tonight, so we're gonna cover them next week.
Yeah. So Packers Bears game, there was nothing that impressed me whatsoever about either one. It really looked like the Packers versus Bears. It was just like singled out of the season. It's like that's the epitome of what has been happening when the Bears play the Packers. Justin Fields needs help, and unfortunately, they won't get him any. And then his contract is going to be up, and it's going to look like it was his fault when it really wasn't his fault. The Vikings are like the best team in the division, and I think that they're playing up against the best team in the NFC East. So I definitely think that this is going to be a great matchup tonight when they play the Eagles. And the Lions might be the second best team, yo. I can't wait to see them play the Packers. I ain't even gonna hold you, yo. I want to see what that spread looks like. I don't care where they playing at. I'm gonna take the Lions.
I'll make sure I put that on the ticket then.
Wait a minute.
No, because I wouldn't put it on there for the same reason I would never put the Packers and the Bears on there to pick. Aaron Rodgers dominates them. So last night went as scripted. He dominates them. Even when they have great defenses, he dominates them. He's 22-5. They've had great defenses during that time. So last night, to me, was more so about play calling. If Chicago sticks with the run, for one, And if they just quarterback sneak instead of him taking the shotgun, he gets in on the 4th and goal. So I thought play calling played just as much a role in them losing as anything Aaron Rodgers was able to do. But both of those teams, to me, aren't that good. And then the Lions, I think they are the second best team in that division. I think the Lions are feisty. We said it in the preseason that they're going to just push you till you can't handle it, and the Commanders couldn't handle it.
All right. I guess this is a juicy division. This is the juicy division. The North, AFC.
AFC North. Well, let me just throw out my simple because y'all might go a little bit more in depth. Bengals offensive line still look like it needs improvement. Ravens defensive coordinator should be ashamed of himself. Steelers. Trubisky is not the answer. And what's the fourth team?
Browns.
The Browns.
They just need to show them.
That's what I meant. The Browns. Where is it at? Where is it at? Hey, Gunner. Jacoby had a good day despite the pick. I think it was more so on the defense than the offense.
So the Bengals are who I thought they are. They were. I didn't pick them to win. I didn't pick them to go to the playoffs. And I just thought like they caught a wave last year. Like Tamon said, their offensive line was getting whipped. And they the Bengals. I don't care who they got. They the Bengals. So yeah, they're the Bengals. The Browns, like I'm with y'all. Like they just wait for Deshaun to come back. If they can be 500 by the time Deshaun come back, yeah, I mean we'll see. The Steelers, with y'all again. Just let Kenny Pickett play, man. Just play Kenny Pickett. Like what? I don't know what are we trying to prove with Mitchell Trubisky? I've seen enough in 2 weeks. Heck, I've seen enough in 3 years. What are we trying to prove with Mr. Trubisky? And listen, y'all know I root for the Ravens. So when Lamar was going off, I'm like, yes, doing this thing. This was a Jim Harbaugh special. Cause I can't blame it on Greg Roman. I can't blame it on Greg Roman. Greg Roman did his thing. This was a Jim Harbaugh special, bro. You the best running team in football. You up 21 points in the fourth quarter, and you lose. You score 3 points when you got the MVP of the league in the. I don't ever want to see Lamar Jackson do a QB sneak ever. He can run side to side and get 1 yard, get inches. John Harbaugh's game management is Bivish. The floor is yours, Biv.
It's terrible, but for me, I was pissed that we lost. I wasn't pissed. I was pissed how we lost. You feel me? I wasn't pissed that we lost. I was pissed how we lost because we shouldn't ever blow a 21-point lead at home in the fourth quarter. So, but there was so much positive to take away on the day that I couldn't even stay mad because Lamar slaying the thing around. Rashad Bateman looks like he needs more targets he needs a diet of targets. He needs a set amount of targets every game. So I just took away the positives from it. You know what I mean? Because we are missing guys in the secondary. We have some young guys in the secondary as well. So it just looked like blown coverages so many times. And then I think the last touchdown, he was right there, man. It was just, I don't know if he mistimed his jump or he just not tall enough. Whatever it was, he was right there. So it is what it is. The Steelers, they're bad. The Steelers are bad. I don't think they're good at all. Then the Bengals. I can't. I don't know what to say about the Bengals. I'm so glad I'm not a gambler, man, because I would have definitely picked them to beat the Cowboys yesterday. They would have been on my parlay, and to see them lose like that and not even be able to really move the football consistently, not even run the football consistently yesterday with Joe Mixon was a little bit eye-opening. I was like, man, they're really not, the offensive line is really not that good. Then the Browns, they're just showing away from being one of the best teams in football. I think the defense, honestly, just needs that spark as well. I think the defense will play better knowing that they got that guy on the field. They got their best quarterback on the field and not the backup. So I think they're just missing Deshaun.
All right, so real quick before then we'll move on to the next division. I would never one-on-one Tyreek Hill ever in my life, and that is what brought them back. The DC put Tyreek Hill put the corner, whoever the corner is, on the island with Tyreek Hill, and he killed them twice. So, we're gonna go to the South. It's a lot of juicy stuff in here too. AFC South. I'm gonna start with the Colts. He's not an upgrade, man. He's not an upgrade. Sorry, Matt. It's time, man. It's time to hang him up. It's time, bro. This ain't the dome. He ain't playing in the dome. Well, Lucas Stadium's a dome, right? I think it's a dome. Something, I don't know. Matt not it. Matt not it. The Texans play tough. The Jags. Biv pick might be. It might. Jags might win that division. And the Titans, they playing tonight, but I'm not impressed with them either. So.
Yes. He's not. Y'all told me last week he not Matty Ice no more. He Matt Ryan. He Matthew Ryan now, man. He's Matthew Ryan. We're gonna use his full government at this point, bro. Nicknames are out the door. They've been so bad that I forgot Jonathan Taylor was.
You can't even shorten his name no more. He's got cold.
He's Matthew. He's Matthew.
If I knew my man's middle name, I think that's who he'd be.
Yeah. But I forgot Jonathan Taylor was even on that team, man. That's how bad they've been this year. I was like, yo, who is their running back? Like, oh snap, man. He was going number one in all the fantasy drafts. But the Texans might be better than we thought. The Texans might be better than we thought. I just feel like the Jags have a lot of talent. And again, if Trevor Lawrence if he can continue to elevate his teammates, and then if Jackson Robinson can continue to run the football like this, I think they can be the best team in that division, as long as Mike Vrabel is going to continue to try to prove that Malik Willis is not the better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill by letting Ryan Tannehill throw the ball. Because as soon as they get back to being the running football team with the best running back in football, the Titans they'll be good again. So whenever he wants to do that, he'll be fine. But that division, I'm with you guys, man. I think 8 wins might get it.
Not even 9. They gonna be 8 and 9 and still get in. Um, for the Colts, is it too late for me to take back my pick from the Colts? Is it too late? That's the question I have. Assuming by y'all gestures, I guess it's not.
Hey, listen, it's still only 2 weeks in, man. You can they can turn around.
They laid an egg against a Jaguars team. They ain't seen nobody lay an egg against them in I don't know how long. So,
I'll tell you when. 2017 against the Colts.
God, wow. So same team, but they just struggle against the Jaguars, huh? And Matthew Ryan was the answer. The Jags are decent. That's what I got from that game. I like Bill said, we talking about 8. He said 8 wins. I'd give him 9, but I mean, if you win the division at 9 games, you're going to be decent. You're not going to be above average or good in my book. Who's the other team in this division?
Listen, they don't matter. They'll suck. The Texans, the
The
Texans, and the
Texans.
Titans.
The Texans will be competitive. That's what I said. The Texans will be competitive. They've been competitive in each of the last 2 games, and I mean that's all you can ask for a team that is expected to be in the position that they're in. So, but yeah, the Titans they play tonight. I don't know any score update, but I would not be surprised.
It's tied 7-7.
It's 0-0.
So going to the NFC South. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't know who good in this division. I know I got the Bucks ranked 3, but that's because they're the Bucks. And Tom Brady don't look like Tom Brady. He don't look like Tom Brady. Look like he's 45.
Boy, you looking at my notes again? But go ahead, man.
He look like he's 45. Like Jameis. Did the eye surgery help Jameis? Jameis. They wearing red, bro. They wearing red over there. Like Jameis had to pull a Florida State out of his behind to beat the Falcons. Like the Panthers, Baker Mayfield, they lost to the Browns. Then they just lost to the Giants. And then Atlanta. Like they've been competitive. They've been the most competitive team in the division. But Atlanta, like I think they in rebuild. I think they say, all right, Marcus, we shown enough. We're gonna reel it in. We try to lose these games. But I don't know what to make of the division. So I'm gonna go with the known, and I'm gonna say the Bucks are the best team in the division. And after that, coin flip.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the middle. Pause. Yeah, leave me alone, man. So I lost my train of thought. What division we in now?
NFC South.
NFC South. All right. So Brady looks his age, but still is better than most quarterbacks now. And the Bucks play good defense. I think if it wasn't for that fight, I think the Saints may have pulled it off. I think that was a momentum builder for the Buccaneers. It was 3-3 before all of that happened. Granted, I mean, what momentum do you get out of a 3-3 game? But needless to say, I mean, the Buccaneers won with 19 points last week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, they've been getting a lot of field goals, and the Saints have been a team that's been riding on their defense. So, I thought that they was going to pull out a low-scoring game, but Brady came back to life somewhat. And the Falcons put up a good fight in the second half, and I really feel like they'll be competitive in the first part of the season. But then once they see the record and see that it's not heading where like we just not winning games, then it'll probably be like, all right, so we just here to get a paycheck until next season. Did I miss a team? The Panthers. I did miss a team. The Panthers. Panthers ain't been good since Cam left.
True. They ain't been good since Cam was healthy.
They ain't been good since Cam left. However you want to take it.
I agree.
First time, second time, they have not been relevant nor good since Cam left. So they need to I don't know, they need to do something with Cam. I ain't gonna say bring him back, but bring him back. 'Cause y'all really threw Sam Darnold off over him. He felt like that was a slap in the face.
That's exactly where I'm starting with the Panthers. My takeaway from the Panthers game was the Panthers got two quarterbacks they don't want. Simple as that. The Falcons, I think they're offensively talented, but I don't think they're going to be able to compete consistently with the other two teams that are good in the division to win the division, which leads me to those two teams. One week the Saints can't stop a nosebleed, and then the next week Jameis can't move the football. Like, once they get together, I think the Saints is going to be the best team in this division because I've said it before. Tom Brady ain't interested in playing football, and he looked like it. Until he got pissed off, and then all of a sudden, he looked like it again. So I don't know if he's interested. So maybe somebody's got to piss him off every week to get him to light a fire on him to play, because he started balling out. They started just doing what they wanted to do after the fight. So
to the West, the two most interesting, I guess, two of the more interesting teams in the or conferences in the NFL. So let's go AFC West. If I'm being real, I still don't know what the Chiefs are. To be honest, I feel like the Chargers were the better team on Thursday night. Just the Chiefs somehow. The Chiefs figured out a way to win that game. The Raiders look like a Josh McDaniels type team. Josh McDaniels is a talented play caller, but some way, somehow, he couldn't get it done with Denver. And now he's starting out 0-2 with this team. So I don't know what they are. The Broncos. Nathaniel Hackett looked like, bruh. What are you doing, Nathaniel Hackett, for 2 weeks in a row? I don't know what Nathaniel Hackett's doing. Like, he looked over his head. I don't know how he got a coaching job. And it's the team I'm missing there, right? Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers, Denver. Yep.
The Raiders should be ashamed of themselves. They had the fans popping champagne at the end of the third quarter. Like, they was going to do it, and then you lost. And I, for one, was pissed off because it's a division foe, and y'all was beating them for one. And for two, y'all was beating them handily. And then all of a sudden, y'all got, yeah. So, even though they lost, the Chargers still look legit. And Mahomes hasn't missed a beat. I think you said, what's the identity of the Chiefs? It's Mahomes. Is what he does, where he goes, is how the Chiefs go. If he has a off game, they're probably gonna lose. If he plays the way that he plays, which is top tier level, they're gonna win games, in my opinion. Unless they play the Bills, then that's a different conversation. And what is the Chargers and the Broncos? Don't give up hope on Russ yet. Let him wait a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's ride. He ain't rode yet. He's trying to get the traction up. So don't. He's been the best quarterback option that y'all have had in that building since Peyton. So that's what I got for that division.
I still think the Chargers are the best team in the division. Nothing about Thursday night changed my mind. The only difference is they got to mentally get over that hurdle of the Chiefs' dominance. So once they get over that hurdle, because they as poorly as they played at times, they still were dominant in that game. So, but the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs' defense is much better than I thought it was going to be. I will say that about the Chiefs, and I think Pat is proven that he's Pat, whether he has top tier weapons or any other weapons. So, which is why I look at Aaron Rodgers weird. But anyway, the Raiders, they just look like a Bill Belichick disciple team. Bad. It's just that simple. That's usually what Bill Belichick disciple teams look like, right? If memory serves me correct. So I'll just leave that one there. And the Broncos, I think, I don't want to say it might be a little bit premature, but maybe we overrated Russell Wilson. Maybe we overrated him. Maybe not letting Russ cook is what wins. Just saying. Until proven otherwise. That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's get to this. Let's get to the NFC West. I'm gonna go first.
Nope. Let me go first on this one. Please, this is my division. The Rams look like the Rams in the first half. They look like who we thought they were in the first half. Second half, they look like what they look like in the first week. So they need to get on consistency if they want to be world champions. The Cardinals. The Cardinals was the Raiders mess ups away from being 0-2. I still really don't believe in them. And unfortunately, I think that this win is going to help them boost them a little bit. You know what I mean? Come back for victory, whatever, on the road. I think it's going to play with their mental a little bit for the next few weeks and help them maybe win a few games. And who's the other team? Lord? I said the Rams. The Rams, the Cardinals,
Seattle.
Oh, Seattle's decent. I just think that they played against a very good defense, which goes to 49ers. We made a great decision in re-signing Jimmy Garoppolo. Granted, no, we did not know that this was going to happen. But for moments like this, I would have rather seen Jimmy Garoppolo versus Brock Purdy or Nick Mullins. So prayers are up, you know what I mean, for Trey Lance. You know what I mean? I definitely didn't want to see him go down like that. And I'm excited for his future. Just the only thing I'm worried about is that Jimmy doesn't stay healthy. So are we going to see Brock Purdy? And that's one of the reasons I'm assuming that we got Trey Lance. It's because of the health of Jimmy. But either way, Jimmy's back in the fold. If he stays healthy, we're a Super Bowl contending team. We won the game. That's all I asked for was a win, especially after that debacle last week. So overall, we still tied for first in the division right now. Not even a game.
I don't. The whole division doo-doo to me. There's a reason that y'all moved on from Jimmy. It's the reason y'all moved on from Jimmy. Yeah, like y'all had to go on a hot streak last year with Jimmy. The Seahawks do play tough. I don't know what Kyler Murray is. I don't know what, like Bill said it best. My man 2 years away from playing baseball. That's what he is. And who else in that division? Oh, the Rams. Maybe Matthew Stafford needed LASIK eye surgery in the all season. Maybe he needed eye surgery because he ain't see a color. He ain't see another team he ain't like. Like I thought y'all was gonna get 3. I thought y'all was gonna get 3 and possibly 3 in the playoffs. Y'all gonna get 1 by default.
Did we not just have the 2 teams in the NFC Championship game was from our division, right?
It's 2023.
But we went from there to doo-doo.
Y'all also had
Man.
Kyler Murray. Y'all had Kyler Murray in the playoffs last year too. He don't look like the same Kyler Murray.
We ain't talking about him. We was talking about the whole
Matt Stafford looked like Matt Ryan. You know they good friends. He looked like Matt Ryan right now.
I just didn't like the whole doo-doo. I mean, listen.
And I know you said signing Jimmy was great, but according to reports, there's an exec and coaches saying the exact same thing I told you was going to happen. They saying that we are a better team now with Jimmy.
Yeah, that's speculation, man. That's allegedly, bro.
But
Jimmy's our quarterback. We won the game.
But listen,
we'll figure all that out next year, huh?
It was a good game. It was a good game. A good win for y'all, but
I'm sorry. I
just don't like a lot of things coming out of that division. But go ahead, Ben.
The Rams are the best team in the division. And I say that in terms of the best shot to win a Super Bowl. As good as the 49ers are, they've proven their ceiling with Jimmy. It's been proven. Their ceiling with Jimmy is the NFC Championship. He can get them there. He got them to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So I'm not even sure if everybody in that locker room believes in Jimmy, especially once the organization made the decision to move on from him. So that's that with San Francisco. I don't think Seattle's good at all. And I told you, Arizona just played a Belichick disciple team, so that's why they won. And Kyler Murray will be playing baseball in 2 years for the Oakland A's. I said it, and I'm sticking to it. So y'all are that's it.
All right, so we're gonna
they didn't say doo-doo.
They ain't doo-doo. Nah, they're not doo-doo, but
God, man, they win 1 Super Bowl and now everybody doo-doo.
Nah, listen, I'm not even gonna go. Y'all not doo-doo.
Let me stop.
But we can't do the standings yet because we got the Eagles. The Eagles playing tonight, so we got the Eagles and the Vikings game on our standings. So we ain't gonna do it net. But my man Biv
Who
looking
did I
good
pick?
this week.
I picked the Vikings.
Yeah, you put the Vikings. Listen, I've been trash these past 2 weeks. Past
And
2 weeks, I've been
that's that
trash.
horn. That's that horn that they be playing on. Where they playing in Minnesota or Philly? I forgot.
Underrated sports moments this week. I got nothing.
Oh, you just disregard the question. Are they
It's
playing?
in Philly. It's
Oh,
in Philly.
Okay.
Oh,
Because he
yeah,
said
bro,
the blackout. Right. Okay. My
Listen,
fault.
we ain't do the blackout, but we up 7-0. Anyway, yeah, underrated sports this week. I got nothing. I couldn't think of nothing. I was gonna go to WNBA and Becky Hammond, but I figured we talk about it. We talk about it on the show.
We got one big or no?
I'm gonna say just the simple fact that Appalachian State played an unranked Troy team, but they hosted game day this week. So I guess that was underrated sports moment. That was a little upsetting, but shout out to Boone, North Carolina.
My underrated sports moment was in it wasn't a victory, but it was a small victory. North Carolina A&T got 20 points on Duke. The HBCU in that North Carolina area, you always get beat up, and it's always like the 7-3. You know what I mean? But for them to put up 20 points against Duke, granted Duke is, we know they're not really a football program, but I mean, pretty much A&T, they outscored them in the fourth quarter. Maybe I guess when it's done. But either way, shout out to all the HBCU. Shout out to homecomings that's coming up here. So, and shout out to Morgan. I think they won. Yeah, that was the other.
I'm gonna save this for next week because I got a question for y'all. I'm actually on the chat. Then I'm gonna put out. I guess we can make it a topic. But final thoughts, fellas.
I'll go first. Oh, you want it tomorrow?
No. Go ahead.
My final thought is I'm not saying that everybody should be like against it or for it or whatever, man. But I don't think you can control how people feel when somebody they don't know dies. You know what I mean? Just in regards to the Queen, like most of the people didn't even know her personally. So yeah, if you knew her personally and you built that relationship with her, yeah, you're probably sad. But for us Americans, especially as African Americans, it was a footnote. It was a notification. That was it. And I moved on. Like for me for people to make it like we should feel some type of way other than really that, to me is mind-boggling. So that's my final thought.
So I'm gonna piggyback off what Biz said. It's not my final thought, but I asked my wife. I said, "You feel any type of way that the Queen passed?" She said, "I mean, like, I feel bad when anybody dies, but I don't know her."
I don't know how she got them jewels that she got in her crown.
You know how she
So
got.
I know. Just come on, man. My final thought is that I still. Oh wow, he disappeared. I looked up and he disappeared. My final thought is I still think the NFL is rigged in some shape, form, or fashion. I mean, I know we have NFL parity, but some of the stuff is just I've seen where people pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and end up getting eeny, meeny, and miny right, and just missed on the mo. It don't add up to me sometimes. I don't. I mean, especially like in the Rams. I don't know how much they were favored by, but I think the Falcons covered. That was. I mean, you was beating them at halftime, like by a bunch, and in the NFL, they don't really normally. So yeah, I still think the NFL is rigged. That's my final thought. Well,
I
Dunbar,
feel you. I feel you. I feel you on that though, bro. Because it do be some weird stuff. It do be some weird stuff, man. Like you be like, how? Like
right?
why? Like why
Just
would
like,
you like?
yo, whoever bet on the Ravens midway through the fourth quarter was like loving life, and
Yeah,
then was like, "What just happened? What just happened?" Yeah, it brings excitement on Sundays, but sometimes, man, it might put some people in a depression.
yeah,
So
man.
making that type of
Absolutely,
roller coaster. Um,
absolutely.
so got Diary of a Step, Lord, Diary of a Black Stepdad. I'm a man, Dwayne Bivens. Love Walk from Dom and Nicole Wilcher. And See the Dinner Table with Damon and me and my wife Kim. And if you want to purchase any real estate, um, hit me up 302-283-9270. Looking forward to seeing Seafirst Homecoming this weekend. Love what you guys are doing down there at Seaver Football. Love what you are doing personally in the community, teaching and touching every one of those athletes. And I know that with you, they are in good hands. You will keep it always 100 with them and steer them in the right path. So that's me giving you your flowers unexpectedly, but this would be a
Appreciate it,
normal
brother.
conversation, but this is just on the air.
Appreciate it, man.
I guess we already did final thoughts. And our producer slash MC left. So y'all have a good night. Take care. God bless and enjoy the rest of your week. Peace.
Peace.